Hey everyone, welcome back to another video, and in today's video we have this BMW X5 and we're going to do the taillight tint installation for this vehicle. So this is how the taillight looks before doing the installation, and this is how it looks after the installation. So the tint has PPA properties, which means it will protect the lenses from yellowing over time, as well as protect it from any small scratches or any road debris that may hit the lens. Link for the product will be provided below, but with that being said, let's get started with the installation video. These are the tools you need for the installation. So before we start with the installation, we need to make sure we prep the taillight lens. So we're going to need two different types of solutions for the preparations. The first solution is our Slip solution, which contains baby shampoo mixed with distilled water. And our second solution is Tack solution, which includes distilled water with isopropyl alcohol. So with your Slip solution, just apply it onto the taillight lens. And then with a clean microfiber towel, start removing any contaminants that the lens may have, and also wipe off the contaminants around the surrounding area of the taillight. That way, in case the tint does touch the paint, it doesn't catch any contaminants. Now flip it to a clean side, and we're going to use our second solution, which is our Tack solution. And this one, apply it onto your microfiber towel and clean off any remaining contaminants. This will help remove any oils or wax or grease that the taillights may have. So once we finish prepping the taillights, now we can start with the installation. For this piece here, we're going to start by aligning it to this end here. So spray Slip solution to the adhesive side of the film and to the lens. Align it here, and everything else should just fall into place. In order to secure it, apply Tack solution, keep it aligned, and apply Tack solution on top as well. Grab your squeegee and just tack it down to secure it. Make sure to secure this section first, remove all of the solution, and then just work your way to this side here. Okay, just make sure you follow through until you reach to this end. Remove all of the solution underneath the film. And then just to make sure the film stays tacked down, you can apply a little bit of heat. That way we help the adhesive activate faster. You could use a heat gun or a hair dryer. That way you could apply heat to this section of the tint. You could use a low setting for this part. So we finished piece number 1. So now we're moving on to piece number 2. With this one, we could do a dry installation, and it will cover this lower section of the taillight here. Piece number 3 will cover the remaining section here. So for this one, we could do the dry method for the install. Start by aligning this section of the tint to this section of the taillight. It should align right on the edge there. And then you would just follow the body line of the taillight underneath until you reach to the other end. And then just make sure when you're doing this step, you're removing all of the bubbles underneath the film. That way there's no leftover bubbles lifting the film over time. So just carefully lift it and align it, and make sure it's covering the entire red section underneath. And it should end right there. Make sure to remove all the bubbles like I mentioned. Use your finger to squeegee everything out. Okay, and now to seal the top edge here, we're going to apply just a little bit of heat. That way the film doesn't lift over time. So use the low setting for this part and apply heat. And then once this is secure, we can move on with the next piece. So same process how we did it with the top piece here. You will start by aligning it on this end here. So all we're doing is just the dry method, no solutions needed. Just apply it there and just follow through until you reach to the other end. And make sure you're covering the red reflector of the lens. And with your finger, just start tacking everything down slowly. That way you remove any bubbles. If you need to lift it to readjust it, you can. Let's say, for example, here, there may be like a big finger. Just lift it carefully and just readjust it and apply it. You only do that if you encounter that. And also if you encounter any bubbles, just lift it and slowly tack it back down. You want to make sure you don't leave any bubbles, so that way the film doesn't lift over time. And now you would just seal the edges by applying heat, and you should be good. Okay, so now for the last piece that covers this section of the tail light, which is piece 4, you would just apply slip solution to the lens and slip solution to the adhesive side of the film. Place it onto the tail light. You want to make sure to start aligning it on this edge first. So make sure everything stays aligned right on the edge. So all you need to do is just lift the film carefully, apply tack solution underneath the film and on top. Make sure to keep things aligned. So it does misalign, just align it back. And now just spray tack solution on top and grab your squeegee and start tacking this section down. Make sure to remove all the solution underneath the film here. Just to double check and see if you remove all the solution, you can use microfiber towel, clean off the area and inspect it just to make sure you remove all the solution. If you see any fingers, those fingers we can seal them off by applying heat later on, but for right now it's just making sure we secure this part. Okay, so now that we secure this piece, now we just need to make sure we continue on to this end here. So this is how it's going to look. We're going to just need to stretch both of these in order to reach to the edge. So in order to stretch the film here, we're just going to apply slip solution underneath the film, and we just need to stretch this section of the tint until it reaches to the edge right here. And also when we stretch, it's also going to help remove any fingers that we have in the middle here. So you just stretch it until you reach to the edge, and all the fingers we had here should disappear, and make sure everything stays aligned here. Hold it in position for a couple seconds, grab your tack solution and spray it on top. Make sure you're still holding and just start securing the tint. Take your time tacking everything down. Make sure that this is aligned here, so if we need to lift it, we can. That way the film covers up to the edge here. It's not supposed to be hanging like this. It has to be covering just up to the edge. So just lift it carefully and reapply slip solution. And stretch. And it should be like this, just like that. Make sure to remove all the solution and the bubbles. That way it doesn't get stuck. And now we move on to this piece. Now for this top piece, same steps as how we did for the bottom, we would do for the top. So just apply slip solution to the lens, keep it aligned and just stretch it up to the edge. So once you apply slip solution, just stretch it up to the edge, and this will help remove any fingers that we have here. So hold it right here, grab your tack solution, spray it underneath the film and on top, and just grab your squeegee and start tacking down the film. If you encounter these fingers here, we'll tack them down slowly by applying a little bit of heat, but right now we just need to focus on securing this section. Okay, and then once we finish tacking everything down, we're going to grab our heat gun or hair dryer and start applying heat throughout this entire edge. That way we seal the edges and also help remove any fingers that we may encounter. So to seal the edges, just apply tack solution, and we're going to grab our heat gun and have a microfiber towel close by. So use the low setting for this part on your heat gun or hair dryer and start applying heat. Start from the curved area here. Use your microfiber towel just to hold it in position and start tacking everything down. Okay, so now for the next piece, piece number 5. Just apply slip solution to the lens and to the adhesive side of the film. And same steps as how we did it with this section. Just align it to the edge and everything else should just fall into place like this. You would go ahead and just grab your tack solution, spray it on top, underneath the film too, and then we would just grab our squeegee, secure the film, remove all the solution, and that's pretty much it. Okay, so now for piece number 6 and 7, we're going to do the same steps as how we did it for this section of the tail light, for these two here. So with this one, it's just aligning it right on the edge. We're not going to need any solution, so it's just a dry install. And just align it until you reach to this end here. So make sure everything's being covered And also make sure you're not leaving any bubbles on the film. If you do leave any bubbles, just lift it carefully and reapply it, and with your finger squeegee everything down. So just like that. If you have any fingers, just lift the film carefully and tack them back down, and then just seal the bottom by applying a little bit of heat. And now you would just do the same for the top piece here that covers this section here. So for piece number 8, which covers just this section of the tail light, just apply slip solution to the lens and slip solution to the adhesive side of the film, and just align it to the bottom. Let this rest here, and you should just align right onto the edge right there. Grab your tack solution, lift the film carefully, and apply it underneath. That way the adhesive on the film starts to activate. So make sure just to align it right on the edge. And now grab your squeegee and tack it down slowly to secure it. Make sure everything stays aligned and remove all the solution underneath the film. This part here, it should reach up to the edge right here. So there's a body line where it separates it right here. That's where it reaches. And because this is a very thin area to work with for the tint, we're going to need to apply a little bit of heat. That way the adhesive on the film starts to activate and stays tacked down to this section. So apply tack solution, grab your heat gun, is the low setting and apply heat. Make sure to apply it evenly. Let it hold down for a couple seconds. And all we're doing is just gently applying our microfiber towel on top of the tint and applying a little bit of pressure. That way the adhesive starts to activate and stay tacked down to the tail light. So we just need to make sure everything stays tacked down here and on the edges right here. And you just repeat this process until everything stays tacked down. So just apply a little bit of heat, hold it for a couple seconds on this area of the curve. That way the film stays tacked down. And that's pretty much it. To double check and see if it's tacked down, use your finger, pass it around the edge. If your finger's not catching it, then you should be good. But if your finger does catch the edges of the tint, then just continue applying a little bit of heat and apply pressure with your microfiber towel to seal it. Okay, so for this piece, you could try doing it just the dry method. That way you don't have to use any solution and the film stays tacked down more faster. If you do the dry method, just make sure to start aligning it right on the edge. So right there, and make sure you give yourself enough material to cover this entire section. So if you are doing the wet method, you would just apply slip solution and align it here, starting here first. So whatever method you're doing, you would just always start here. Make sure this is good, and then you just carefully align the rest of the film. Film will overlap just a little bit with the bottom piece and also with the top piece that was installed earlier. Make sure you're not leaving any bubbles, because if you do, you're just going to have to remove them slowly. So this is good here, and you would just do the same steps that we did here for the top piece here. So just lift it carefully and just follow the design of the body line here. And then to seal this section, just apply a little bit of heat, but before you seal it, make sure no bubbles. And now to seal it, just apply heat. That way the film doesn't lift over time. So for the last piece, you could do the same process as that we did with this one, the dry method. Just align it right on the edge here. Make sure everything stays aligned, and just follow the top half as a guide to align the rest of the film. And make sure as you're aligning it, you remove all of the bubbles. Take your time doing this step, because if you leave any bubbles, you're going to have to start all over. So make sure you tack everything down as you go. Just make sure everything stays tacked down. Apply heat to seal the top and bottom edge here. Okay, and that's pretty much it. And now once we finish with the entire installation, the last thing to do is to post heat. So once we finish with the entire installation for the taillight tints, the last thing to do is to post heat the entire film. So just apply tack solution to the lens, and you could use a hairdryer or a heat gun and apply heat evenly throughout the entire tail light. You could use the low setting or the high setting for this part. Just make sure if you do use the highest setting to apply heat evenly and not to focus on one area for too long, that way we don't burn the film. And as you're applying heat, we're going to use our microfiber towel just to help tack down the film and remove any fingers that you may encounter around the edges. So that concludes the installation video for the tail light tints for the BMW X5. Just make sure to take your time applying each piece, doing the dry method for some of them and then the wet method for the other pieces. We hope that this video helped you guys out. Don't forget to drop a like on the video, make sure you subscribe and turn on the notification bell, that way you don't miss any of our upcoming installation videos. Thank you so much for watching, and we'll see you guys in the next one.